9,000! Oh yeah! Not Ringo.
Hey guys, Dalek44 here. I need no introduction, but I got one anyway. Well, I got my double bed, I got my check out my six-pack t-shirt on. You know what that means? More adverts!
I know it seems like a silly idea to review adverts, but it's like I said before. They live in their own little worlds that want to scam us and be nice to us at the same time. And there's just so much to talk about and make fun of with these adverts. And these adverts gave us a lot of the things we pestered our parents for in the 90s and early 2000s.
And we're here to look at them again today. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the second tribute to 90s and early 2000s adverts in another segment I like to call Don't Go Away.
Does anyone here remember Hornby Railways? Of course you do, everyone does. It's one of the biggest selling model trains in all of the world. And one of the most popular franchises was the Thomas the Tank Engine. But this advert for Hornby was a very interesting one.
I just got this Thomas and Bertie set for my birthday.
Then I got the Intercity 225 for Christmas. And then?
Then I got serious.
Wow, that kid was really hardcore about getting serious with Hornby. If he gets any more Hornby, he'll be able to do his own fan-made Thomas show.
So it's basically a clever way that if you collect enough Hornby model railway trains and railway tracks, then you could build big sets in the future. So yeah, good way to sell the product, isn't it?
Hornby Railways. Start the way you mean to carry on.
Eat up now or you can't go to bed early.
Oh, come on now. Oh, there'll be no early night.
Wait a minute. If you don't behave well, you don't get to go to bed early? What the hell would any kid want to go to bed early?
Yes, even though it is very weird that children would actually want to have an early night, this was actually a pretty interesting way to advertise Silent Night beddings.
Yes. We've got them these new beds from Silent Night. They're called My First Bed. There's loads of fun options, and they've got the special Miracle mattresses like our bed.
And this was back in the late 90s and early 2000s when Silent Night was all the rage. So I guess they would have tried anything to sell their products.
Sleep tight.
Have a silent night.
There is Peter Pan's Island over there.
This was from back in the day when Peter Pan Return to Neverland came in the cinemas. So of course it would make sense to make Peter Pan themed toys. And the two ones that got advertised the most were Peter Pan's Island and Captain Hook's ship.
Here, Captain Hook is here. Pirate ship goes to sea for to capture Peter Pan.
But if it was Disney related, then the kids were going to love it anyway.
Peter Pan's Island over there. The lost children will be found. There is Peter Pan's Island over there.
You remember these old Babybel adverts, right? Some guy would be trying to eat his Babybel and then something interrupts him by having the Babybel fall out of his hand and he has to go all the way around the city to chase it.
I mean, it's not like you could just go to the shop and buy a new Babybel. No, you gotta go and chase that Babybel that ran away. Sensible, really.
Yeah, pretty stupid thing to do when you can just easily buy a new one from the shop, but you can't knock it for being a clever way to advertise the stuff.
Mini Babybel, all round goodness.
Ba 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 Babybel.
Buckaroo!
How many of you remember Buckaroo? It was one of the best known games of my childhood.
Be careful, because Buckaroo's a bad-tempered old mule.
The rules of it are pretty simple. You place stuff on the back of a horse without making it buck, and whoever makes it buck loses. So, such to be that.
I remember seeing a You've Been Framed clip of a kid playing Buckaroo but then smashes it away when he loses. No, I'm serious, that actually did happen. The kid got so pissed off at losing Buckaroo that he actually pushed it away.
At any moment, he might decide to Buckaroo for a Buckarootin' good time.
This was back in the early 2000s when the final season of Dexter's Laboratory was coming. And what better way to advertise it than have a CGI laboratory and music from the Spider-Man movies.
Voice online. Laboratory online. Activate robots. Checking robotic systems. Activate machines. Initiate laser. Loading new series Dexter's Laboratory.
If Dexter's Laboratory was going to end its glorious run on Cartoon Network, it was going to make sure they advertised the last season in the coolest way possible.
A brand new series of Dexter's Laboratory. Every day at 4:30 p.m. on Cartoon Network.
What's for lunch? It's Hungry Hippos!
Ah yes, Hungry Hippos. That delightful game where you play as hippos that stuff their faces with white balls. And whoever collects the most balls wins.
It's Hungry Hippos. First to gobble up the most marbles wins.
Hungry Hippos, we're hungry Hippos.
This is one of those games that still continues to be sold in the shops to this day.
But I was around when that first came up, and don't you forget it!
So whether you're from the 90s or the 2000s, you're still going to be entertained by this game.
How's about dessert?
What is that? That is Ed. How about that?
How many of you remember Ed, and Eddy?
No,
It was one of the best shows on Cartoon Network.
No, you said he was
and they had a pretty funny way to advertise the show too when it was first announced.
Which Ed? What is that? That is Ed. How about that? That's Ed. I thought he was Ed. No, he's Ed. Is that not what I said? No, you said he was Ed. Is he an Ed too? Well, he's an Ed, but he's not Ed. Which Ed is he not? Neither one. He's Eddy. So he gets a Y. A Y.
Even though this was a very strange Ed and Eddy version of Abbott and Costello's Who's On First, it was a really great way to promote the new show. And the show turned out to be great too.
Why? That's right. But he's an Ed because he starts with Ed. No, he starts with Ed and Ed catches up. So it's Eddy, Ed, and Ed. No, it's Ed, and Eddy. What's the difference? It's much less confusing that way. Is he not?
So whether you loved Ed, and Eddy or Cartoon Network in general or both, then you were definitely going to love this promo for this show.
No, he starts with Ed and
the show, of course.
Ed, and Eddy, coming this January to Cartoon Network.
Sophie, who do you like best, Daddy or Chips?
This was back in the day when McCain wanted to advertise their products in the most silly ways possible. Some of them would be about the microchips, and some of them would be about the oven chips and the home fries. But this one was asking a basic question. Does a little girl like her daddy or chips the most?
Daddy or chips? Daddy or chips?
And throughout the whole advert she ponders and ponders and ponders until finally...
Daddy chips.
Who else? McCain chips, Britain's most popular choice.
Chips.
I know how you feel, kid. I'd pick Chips over my own BFF after he stole a fish finger from me.
So even though the girl might be being a little bit too harsh on the dad for taking one minuscule chip from her plate, you can't knock it for being an interesting and funny way to advertise the stuff.
McCain, you just can't help yourself.
Shreddy's has had his fair share of adverts back in the day, but my absolute favourite were these ones, where some kid was enjoying himself when some snooty know-it-all comes in to spoil it all.
How, dear brother of mine, am I supposed to study this book on really hard maths when you insist on playing this modern music so loud? Now make yourself useful and pour me some frosted shreddies, you monkey-brained idiot!
Christ! Those Shreddies must have had a fuckload of sugar in them at the time.
It's the wicked stuff on frosted shreddies and cocoa shreddies that makes them just too tasty for geeks.
I guess that little shrimp must have been very geeky then.
Frosted shreddies and cocoa shreddies, too tasty for geeks.
Ah yes, the only times when people were actually interested in giving away free books. And what better way to do so than with walkers?
But why do they have to be full packs, miss?
They just do.
That has to be the funniest reply I have ever heard. You could put that reply to any question asked.
out of the darkness.
They just do.
Tiny, why'd you have to turn the day off?
They just do.
Alright, hold on a second. I just need to talk about this advert real quick. In these adverts, you've got Gary Lineker, who's going to these extremely, insanely extreme lengths just to get other people's bags of walkers. Why doesn't he just go to the fucking shop? I mean, Jesus. It's incredibly stupid the lengths he'll go to. Plus, his face used to be on the fucking bag. You'd think he'd be able to get a few free ones every once in a while.
They just do.
So even though Gary clearly has a problem with walkers and is obsessed with it, you can't help but laugh at these adverts every time you see it.
Crisp?
There's a magical place in the heart of Europe where the stars of Disney animated film classics become your friends. Disneyland Paris.
This was back when Disney decided to advertise their new theme park in Paris on their VHSs. And they did it in a lot of their classic films releases. So even though the Queen of Hearts used to scare the hell out of me when I was a kid, it's still a very whimsical way to advertise their theme park.
Someone you know can't wait to go. Disneyland Paris.
After years of training, Kellogg's new secret weapon is ready.
Oh yeah, this was back in the days when Kellogg's wanted to try something new besides cereal. And what better thing to try than turning your favourite cereals into a bar with milk in it.
Does anybody in the audience have Arnold Schwarzenegger's phone number? I think I just found his lost pet cow.
And this was a very clever way to advertise it too. You've got a cow with a milk gun, he's moving around some obstacle courses, treating it like it's a secret agent mission. Kind of like a Mission Impossible movie, if you will.
Introducing Ooter the Cow and new Kellogg's cereal and milk bars, the delicious, crunchy, crumbly snack.
And if you're watching this, Arnold Schwarzenegger, you found your cow.
Good night, everybody.
So when hunger hits,
It is your friend, Smith. Hit me with the XP 105. Sarge? I said...
Oh my god, I fucking love this guy. He used to advertise Super Soakers back in the 90s. And he just blew our heads off with laughter.
And why they never brought back this legend for the Super Soaker outfits in the future is beyond me. I mean, seriously, why didn't they bring him back? He's a fucking legend.
And with Super Soakers still being made today, I'm honestly hoping that they bring this guy back to advertise and stuff. He's a legend.
I'm loving it. My turn. The new Laramie Super Soaker XP 105.
Help me, my toothache! No worries, I'm the Crocodile Dentist!
How many of you remember Crocodile Dentist? It was a fun little game where you could pick at a crocodile's teeth. But if you pick at the wrong one, it bites you.
The game's Crocodile Dentist! Take turns pulling teeth, but don't pull the wrong one or he'll snap and you're out!
It's funny how in the animated bits, the crocodile really looks like he wants the dentist's help. Whereas the actual thing looks like it doesn't want help. And it looks vicious when it bites you.
That's what a mouthful, I'm the Crocodile Dentist!
But it's still a fun game.
Well, as long as it doesn't encourage kids to be dentists to a real crocodile, then it'll be okay.
I feel so much better!
Crocodile Dentist!
From Milton Bradley!
Dang nabbit, I can never find a parking space after lunch.
Remember when Cartoon Network used to do promos with their various characters that they showed from the new cartoons to the classic cartoons? Well, this was one of the best ones.
Cartoon Network keeps adding stars without adding parking space.
There's a space reserved for Papa Smurf.
Bloody freaking die.
Wise Papa Smurf, corrupted by his own power. Can no leader go undated?
This is basically what people experience every day in their lives, where they go out somewhere and they can't find a parking space. And this is hilarious.
I mean, how funnier can you get with this? You've got Fred Flintstone, He-Man and Chicken in the same car as each other looking for a space. Unsuccessful.
Hey fellas, looking for a parking space? You can take mine.
Now this guy's a true hero.
Could have sworn I parked in the Wally gated F lot. Or was it in... Boy. Now I remember. I flew into work today. Silly me.
Oh, brother.
Oh man, look, there's one,
All right, boys, I need your foot power to help me gun it.
That was totally worth watching all the way through.
So even though Cartoon Network isn't as good as it was in the old days, we could still look back at these old promos to remember the golden age.
That does it. I'm gonna start taking the bust away.
This is war. And the enemy?
Those new M&Ms minis?
Bingo.
Oh yes, the M&Ms minis. A new idea that M&Ms came up with just to brand out their brand.
It's time to let them know who's boss.
The president?
No.
Prime Minister?
No.
Queen of England?
No. Us.
Oh. So I got a half right.
Now go up there and get that tube! Yup!
Hey, look.
Listen up, you little...
And I'm not really sure why they discontinued the M&Ms minis. Maybe they weren't popular enough, maybe they grew out of fashion. But either way, this was a really interesting way to advertise stuff.
New M&Ms minis, they're headed your way. So, how are you at apologies?
We are so sorry.
Oh yeah, these were my absolute favourite Magic Roundabout movie trailers, where they'd show two characters at a time in each trailer and talk a little bit about them before announcing the movie. And my absolute favourite was when they did Seabad and Soldier Sam.
He's the twisted wizard with an evil brain.
I know. It's a gift, really.
He's the trusty trooper with no brain at all.
Sam, you're ruining the moment.
Tom Baker as Seabad, Ray Winston as Soldier Sam, the Magic Roundabout.
Gruesome.
Hey folks, remember when they used to use rejected Simpsons characters to advertise harvest bread?
It's good for you. Top models.
Of course you don't, no one does. It didn't last very long, did it?
Right, Mum, I want plenty of greens and from now on buy only brown bread. Brown! It's good for you. Top models eat it. Don't care. I know what I like, and that's white.
Those kids kind of look like they should belong to the Tracy Ullman Simpsons sketches. Seriously, look up the two together. They really do look like they belong in Tracy Ullman.
Introducing new Hovis Best of Both. Delicious soft white bread, but with all the goodness of brown.
At last! Something you agree on. Well, it was his fault. You started it. No, I didn't. So
Man, these kids will fight over anything, won't they?
it was his fault. You started it. No, I didn't. So
New Hovis Best of Both. Delicious soft white bread, with all the goodness of brown.
Chip here, new Cookie Crisp cereal there.
How many of you remember Cookie Crisp cereal? It was an interesting type of cereal that actually looked and tasted like cookies, as far as I knew.
They look like chocolate chip cookies, taste like them too, but it's a breakfast cereal!
And the Adverts would always have this wolf trying to get a pack from the kids, without much success.
Oh, just missed that Cookie Crisp!
Even though he never got a box of cereal, you can never blame him for trying.
Cookie Crisp! Next time it's mine!
Everyone loves the Tooth Fairies. Now the Magic Tooth Fairy game brings that magic to life.
Oh yes, the Magic Tooth Fairy game. The only game where losing teeth can be fun. Even though you're not actually losing a real tooth, it's just a fake tooth.
Lose a tooth. Put it under the pillow. And the magic bed turns it into gold.
Can you imagine how cool or possibly violent this game would be if the money was actually real?
The magic bed
Can you just imagine a smackdown going down whenever they win a coin?
The Magic Tooth Fairy game makes losing teeth fun.
Hey look, it's Matt Lucas from Little Britain.
Come for a spin with me and discover how will you use yours. 1.
If you're watching in black and white, hit the yellow bit first.
2. Find the star and lick it off.
Well, actually, this was back before Little Britain was all the rage, when Matt Lucas used to advertise stuff. And I'd actually forgotten that he advertised cream eggs at the time.
3. Eat it with the lights off. I've seen the future.
And it's insane!
No.
How will you eat yours?
Oh yes, good old VCI videos. What good fun will they have for us today?
VCI presents some of the most popular children's characters available to buy on video.
Figures they start with Thomas the Tank Engine. It's like when Castlevision started off with tugs.
All aboard, if you please, for Britt Allcroft's Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends. Hold tight, everyone, and take a ride on your favourite railway line.
Here he comes!
With Thomas the Tank Engine and all his wonderful friends.
My branch line is the pride of the line.
No engines ever felt prouder than those on the Fat Controllers Railway.
Well, it only makes sense to start off your video promos with Thomas the Tank Engine. I mean, after all, he was voted the #1 British television show for kids by WatchMojo.com.
And now you can sing along with Thomas too. Your favourite story collection, story and song collection, and the biggest ever Christmas collection. Also available, Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends Playtime and the brand new release, Chases, Races and Runaways. 18 episodes of mischief and mishaps. You never know what the animals will.
Well, it's no Cosgrove Hall animation style.
The rascally rats are always there to get up to some sort of mischief or another. So it's bound to be loads of fun.
And say hello to the morning sun. Work to do and jobs to be done, not always fun.
Hey! Oh yeah, how the hell can anyone forget City? That lovable teddy bear with his dim-witted sausage-brained dog, his girlfriend Panda, and the little scamp cousin Scampy.
Not always on the right side of the law.
The law with the terrible ball. Just you wait and see.
Elastic tricks and speedy sweep. Also available and packed with festive fun, my bumper Christmas sooty. Max and Mim invite you to a Christmas teddy bear sing-song.
Jeez, Thomas the Tank Engine had more facial expression than these two bears.
Join in and sing along to all your festive favourites, as well as classic party tunes. This fun-packed video will provide hours of endless fun well into the new year.
Oh look, we got some adventures with the world's ugliest ragdolls.
And easy to learn in one of 4 programmes exclusively made for video, never to be seen on TV.
2, 3.
Fun with French, ABC, Animal Adventures and counting. 1, 2 and 3.
I is the big friendly giant.
This animated movie from Cosgrove Hall was a classic. And no live-action remakes can change that.
Children's classic, the BFG.
You is in dream country.
And it was one of the many Cosgrove Hall works that David Jason was in, including Danger Mouse, Wind in the Willows and Count Duckula. And this one was definitely another one of their gems.
Masses of titles, hours of fun, available now.
We've taken everything you love about Thomas's adventures and put them in our new miniature playset.
How many Thomas fans out there remember the Thomas Miniatures collection? It was a collection of mini playsets with mini trains that you could have your own adventures with. And the one I had was the one they were advertising here. A big Sodor layout with Thomas and Percy and Bulstrode.
Where Thomas pops his way to the seaside, Percy gets bumped off the track. Watch out, Thomas, there's danger on the line. Grumpy old Bulstrode gets a headache. And what's this? A runaway train. Oh, that was close.
Whew, that was a close shave. A minute I thought he was going to fall off the tracks.
And I used to create my own adventures with these little playsets, and had a lot of fun with them too. And it's a real shame that they're not going to bring it back anytime soon.
Thomas the Tank Engine's miniature collection. There's a different adventure every day. Miniature railway and play cases available at your favourite store.
Speaking of forgotten stuff, how many of you remember the Cadbury Land adverts? It was where Cadbury basically wanted to make mascots for some of their famous chocolates.
What the fuck are you on, girl?
But the only one of these characters that actually lasted longer than the others was Buttons. Years later, she ended up getting her own individual adverts. I guess she was a fan favourite.
That was a bit of a laugh, wasn't it?
Well, if you want to put it that way, kid.
The TARDIS is under...
Oh yeah, Doctor Who action figures. These things are the shit.
Slitheen, Cassandra, and Sycorax. But don't worry, the Doctor can fight them off with his sonic screwdriver.
I'm not sure if I've told you this before, folks, but when Doctor Who first came back in 2005, I wasn't really a huge fan of it. In fact, the only episodes I would actually watch all the way through were the ones with the Daleks. But thanks to David Tennant, I am now a Whovian.
Oh no! The Daleks have joined the battle!
And this was only a year before they made non-remote controlled Dalek toys.
Time to get out of here! Doctor Who action figures and playsets.
From character.
Have you seen this man?
How many of you LEGO fans out there remember LEGO Island 2 The Brickster's Revenge? It was one of the funnest video games I ever played on the PC. And in my opinion, it was funner than LEGO Racers 2.
As Pepper, it's up to you to stop the Brickster. Are you ready for adventure on PC? Windows 95, 98 or Millennium Edition required.
And the pack I got for LEGO Island 2 was one that came with a keychain Brickster. And I loved every second of this game growing up.
And for those of you who haven't played the game yet, let me just say that the boss battle at the end between the Brickster is one of the easiest boss battles I've ever played in a video game.
Lego Island 2, The Brickster's Revenge. Rated E for everyone. Each game and system sold separately. Your world, your rules.
Oh yes, the days of Jenga when it was treated as a martial arts thing in this advert. For some reason these martial artists would play Jenga for some reason rather than just doing martial arts skills. But it does make sense since you've got to use skill for this game.
Fingers like so. But most important, develop love like so.
I wonder if anyone's ever actually tried doing that in real life.
A fun advert for a fun game you won't be forgetting anytime soon. Oh good, another McDonald's advert. What would they be advertising for the Happy Meals this time?
Impressive, isn't it? Some busted
Little handheld consoles.
one in every McDonald's Happy Meal.
I don't know about you guys, but I honestly would have preferred an actual toy rather than a handheld video game.
Ah well, if it had Sonic the Hedgehog on it, we were gonna love it anyway.
Get happy.
Well, I'm afraid that's all the time we have for today. Hope you enjoy all your fins from the 90s and early 2000s, and remember, ha ha ha! I'm Dalek44, and I'll see you next time, folks. Ha ha ha, I think I'll try that next time I play a game with someone.